I'm here for God's children. Understand that. I'm here for all of God's children. You know what I mean? And that transcends all race, gender, demographic, religion, all of that. Spiritual, devotions that you have, whatever the case may be. God's children, that's what I'm here for. And those are those who love truth. Those are those who love wisdom. Those are those who suffered enough to really understand what compassion is. Not some delusional concept of a sheep covered with fucking flowers. I know who I am. And I know that God's children know my voice. They know my voice. I'm just one of many shepherds who was appointed here at this time because I'm supposed to. It's my destiny. That's what I know. And those who are not them, nah. This message is going to burn you. It's going to set you on fire. It's going to fuck your whole shit up. Understand? And that's okay. Don't fight it. If it sets you on fire, just walk off. Just walk off. Because it's not meant for you. It's only meant for those who know my voice. And if you know my voice, you know the shepherd's voice because you know God appointed. Understand that. That don't make me special. That just makes me align with what I know my purpose is. And that's how God gets to channel through us, me, you. The same way is what you have to do too. Because you're a shepherd to some community somewhere. To a soul tribe somewhere. You are too. I'm just one candle that lights another candle. Just like you are a candle that lights another candle. Understand that. Pisces, Saturn, stationing, direct motion, things to think about. When we talk about Pisces, we definitely are in the area of our imagination. How the power of our imagination is being utilized in our favor or in contradiction to our best interests. Understand, Pisces is your heaven. That's from whence all things come. Understand that. It's the source. It is the source. It is also the ending where all things dissolve. Either way, it is what retains essence in and of itself. So, have we learned how to maintain and regulate authority, discipline, accountability concerning the power of our imagination? Somebody at all times wants to have power and control, influence over your imagination. If I can have control, power, influence over your imagination, I own everything that you form an intention to do. I also own everything that you have the impulse to do. Reactionary, but not necessarily responsive. Understand that. Media, propaganda. The budget in media, the budget in propaganda. Wherever there is a screen, where there are images, pictures, storylines, sounds, music, all of the stimulants of Taurus, all of the fruits of Venus, knowing and remembering that Venus is exalted in Pisces. The senses being stimulated, triggering the imagination. Did somebody teach you who to like or who to dislike? Did somebody teach you who to fear? Did somebody manufacture your fears? Did somebody manufacture your ideals of what good is and bad is, right and wrong, what is correct or incorrect? Did somebody manufacture that by taking control of your imagination? Come on, before you plug your ears and pretend like it don't pertain to you, before that you pretend like you're on a moral high horse, some special course of life where what I'm saying does not apply to you, I beg to differ. Pipe down. Get off your fucking horse. And I want you to think about it. Does programming work on you? Does the propaganda work on you? Are you more concerned about fitting in, making sure that what you think, what you agree to, what you say yes or no to, what you side with, what you reject, what you receive, how you show up, what you tend to romanticize or idealize about yourself or others? Where did it come from? Did it come from the programming? Did it work on you? This Pisces exercise of Saturn, it has everything to do with how propaganda works on you. And propaganda is not just turning on your news channel or turning it off and choosing, oh, I'm going to fast from the news. I'm not going to listen to CNN no more. Okay, yeah, we heard that. But do you also understand that propaganda works in your family too? It works in your relationship too, and the influences that they secondarily or directly pick up and cross-contaminate over to you. Did you also understand that it's in your local communities? Because it spreads around. It's not only you being directly influenced or brainwashed by certain strategies. The war in heaven that's out to take control of your imagination. Your imagination is the canvas. It's the rich soil. It's the place to plant seeds. To be able to calculate what return that these oligarchs and monarchs can expect on the next season. The music that you're listening to, the news channel, the movies that you have watched, not just yesterday, your whole fucking life. Your whole life. There are consistencies with the messages and the programming that have run in music, especially in movies and commercials, and who they conveniently choose to represent certain brands. Branding strategies, the power of sex, the power of the image of a woman's body, the influence of a pretty face. All of these things, it contributes into, are you thinking for yourself? Do you own the essence of your imagination, or does somebody else take part ownership in that? Can you produce a thought on your own? Can you observe and experience a situation and know the difference between the truth and a lie? Do you have the power of discernment? Are you there yet where you can tell the difference? Come on. Newsflash, this just happened, that just happened. And you are one to believe what the fuck they saying? Does your clairvoyance work? Does your intuition work? I think a lot of y'all got to ask yourself this question. I could tell, it's obvious. It's obvious. And some of y'all could show some appreciation instead of, the isolation that manifests when you hear the truth. Some of you could show some appreciation that at least somebody got the nuts to keep you inside the truth, even though you keep running from it, even though you don't like it. It's not the flavor you want. It's not the color you want. It's not the fragrance you want. So it got to be rejected. It don't fit the narrative that you already got or that you want to be got. So it's a problem. And that's why it makes money. That's why it's so successful. Who owns every source of propaganda? Every last one of the sources of propaganda that exists in this Western nation, in the Western worlds, who owns all propaganda sources? Who owns it? Yes, Khazarians. Who are the operatives of Khazarians? White Christian national males, lobbyists, corporate execs, 501(c)(3) preachers, imams, religious leaders, and teachers. Come on. Your rappers, your hip-hop artists, your singers, your actors. Come on. Have we learned yet? Did we learn the lesson? That what you're told, that what's explained to you, that's what's given to you, pitched to you, sold to you, it is game. Did you learn that it's just game yet? Come on. It's like a young, gullible, or impressionable, female, right? Before she's hip to the game, young men coming up to her, pitching all type of game, spitting all type of game, yeah, girl this, yeah, girl that, yeah, you this, and yeah, you that, all up in the ear, trying to get in them draws and all these other things, you know what I mean? And you falling for it, but sooner or later, after enough pain, after enough trauma, after enough trouble, after enough regret, after enough burdens, you learn to pay attention. You learn to pay attention. After you get played enough times, you start paying attention. How long are we, the people, going to be so fucking dumb and gullible? So simple-minded? So fucking stupid? How long are we going to choose to be that way and we don't have to? Decode. North Node. Number 7 vibration. It is to dissolve the illusions of forms and to expose the essence and truth that is behind misrepresentations, illusions. Saturn direct motion Pisces on a global scale. I'm not going to be shy to say it. That white guilt on this earth, yeah, that's a real thing. It's a real thing. Especially white males, white Christian nationals to be specific. There are many who struggle with the fact that they are aware now of the younger generations that I have been born into a legacy that I didn't have the power to control. A history and resume on this earth that all of the indigenous people of the earth seem to be singing in a unified choir in the remembrance of the fact of having a common enemy in the earth, especially since the Spanish Inquisition of the Khazarians and white Christian nationals or Constantinian Romans. And the wave of white supremacy that did the same thing to every people of color, of darker shades, of indigenous identities and natives. They all got fucked by the same man. The error that's being made is there seems to be a lack of guidance, a lack of understanding in what is to be done. As white males, you don't have to hold on to that guilt. You don't have to hold your head down and feel ashamed for something that's not in your heart, for something that you do not condone, something that you do not believe in. does have to happen is we have to atone for, purify, and heal the house that we were born into, because that is a karmic assignment. What house were you born into? And white males struggle to understand that. That the direction to turn to is compassion, understanding, and that begins by properly educating yourself about what happened, about what your forefathers did to all people of the earth. The legacy of tyranny and oppression and violence, abuse, death, genocide, rape, humiliation, land theft. The list goes on. But the solution is never to join a crowd of those who seem to find an escape route or attempt to find an escape route by finding others to go down with them in such reputations and infamy. Oh, look at those Muslims. Those Muslims are so dangerous. Oh, black men, they're only 13% of the population. No, 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 no. You are not going to get a convenient escape out of that, because you're full of shit. That ain't getting ready to be no convenient escape. We could go tit for tat, but is it really worth it? Is that really what you want to do? Do we need to bring up statistics about what you as white males are leading in? Child predators, pedophilia, sex crimes. Would you rather the reputation of playing with kids, kiddie porn, or being a killer? Yeah, call me a killer. Call me a killer all day. So you don't want to go tit for tat with that. You don't want to do the comparisons of, are Muslims the real terrorists or not? Who's a real terrorist? Every nation of the earth, every indigenous tribe of the earth will point to the same person as who the real fucking terrorist is. So they are in acts of futility in escapism, acts of futility in trying to dodge the work that's in their father's house, that's in their forefathers' legacy. Confession is the water trine. Forgiveness of the self is the water trine. Atonement, which carries out the act of forgiveness, in the water trine. Healing is in the water trine. And the number 7 that the North Node is asking us to educate ourselves on the truth, not the registry of facts and statistics, which any liar can put into the database, which is exactly what happened, but actually get into the truth. The number 7, heart, soul, urge, expression, and life path, vibration, numerological expression, is to get to the truth. Not datas and facts, the fucking truth. And you have to brave Scorpio to get there. Truth that was suppressed. Truth that was hidden, discarded, buried beneath the earth. And it's all out on the surface now. And white males are trying their best to claim innocence through rejection of truth, through defiance of truth, through futility and argument, arrogance, disrespect, shaming, insult, group chats, comment section, just wilding out. That ain't the route. You don't have to do all that. You have to make a conscious decision. Is this what you believe in? Is that what you condone of what your forefathers have done? How have you become today an evidence and a proof, a living evidence and a proof of what you've come to understand about that should represent a corrective action in the legacy of your life that you have the power to initiate today concerning the contrast of what they have set and what you have the power to set today as a precedence? What is that? What does it look like? And white females have the role and responsibility of being the conscience of those who struggle to do that. I'm not shy to say it. If I could say it louder, I would. If I could say it with spit flying out of my mouth and veins popping out of my fucking neck, I would. Because I mean it. I mean it from my gut. I know what the fuck is going on in this earth. I know what it means. I know what it's about. Guess what? Nobody can stop it because that's what time it is. The empire is over. Rome has fallen for the second time. That empire is over. White supremacy is over. It's not going to last. The legacy is done. It's dead. Right along with feminism. Right along with the name of Rothschild Rockefeller, their whole entire design since 1902. In fact, even going back to when they first bailed the Vatican out. Formed T-bonds, 1871. Out of the indigenous, who they retitled as Negro, Black, and Color. The whole scheme is up, it's done, it's over. America is going to become a junkyard for spare parts. And these oligarchs and Khazarians are deliberately sending it down into destruction. Look at New York City. Mondani is on the same team. Democrats, Republicans are on the same team. They're all puppets for the same puppet master Khazarians. And they want to prepare Palestinian state as Israeli state for themselves as a transfer of their bases. As this one burns and gets used like a junkyard where you need to go and take your own tools and pull a carburetor, pull an alternator, pull a radiator, pull an axle, pull a timing belt, a water pump, a seat, a light fixture, headlights, whatever parts you need. That's what this country's about to become. And it's by design. It is fell by design. And they're provoking deliberately white Christian nationalism so that they can implode themselves through their own rage and anger. Their own rage and anger is going to implode them, just like the narcissistic feminists who destroyed themselves. It's the same spirit. You look at the head, the lead, the marching general of all feminists, which is an African American female. She destroyed herself with feminism. She annihilated her value, her worth, her status, her prestige, her mystery, her purity, her character, her image, her reputation, her legacy. She destroyed her family. She destroyed everything that was valuable to her as a woman. She destroyed it with her own hands. She inherited the marching orders of white supremacists over African American males. And she treats African American males the same way the white supremacists treat African American males. She talks to them the same way. She deals with them the same way. She looks at them the same way. She estimates them the same way. She has become the new white supremacist. And she destroyed herself before she even got there through feminism. Now, white supremacists, the white Christian nationalism is going to do the exact same thing to themselves because they both have the same spirit. Narcissism, overestimation of self, total delusion of their self and their identity, refusal to properly educate themselves. The stiff-neckedness and arrogance that prevents them from going the proper route of the water trine, which is confession, forgiveness, atonement, and healing. Instead, they will go the other route of defiance, arrogance, fighting, shame, insult, guilt, the need to be right, arguing, attempting to prove a point that is futile, plunging themselves deeper and deeper in ignorance, sealing the heart and sealing the ears, having no access to a living testimony of themselves. Doom, ultimately. Khazarians don't love white Christian nationals. They just use them. They're using white men. And they can't even see it. I'll let y'all enjoy the convenience, you know what I mean, of not having to say what you're thinking or admit what you're thinking. Understand? Everybody see what the truth is. The truth is clear from the falsehood. It's clear. It's for everybody to know, to see, to feel, to sense, to connect with, to pass through. Everybody knows what the fucking truth is. Everybody does. But some people run. Most people run. Most people hide. Most people pretend like it's not that way. And they want to make any truth sayer, they want to make you the bad guy. They want to make you the villain. They want to make you the one who they turn other people on. To say that's the bad guy. To put their self in a space of innocence, in a cloak of innocence. But every one of them a number. Understand that. We know what the truth is. A hard truth to swallow. Who were the powers behind Capricorn Pluto and South Node Libra? Okay, these are the two right here that's being purged by karmic Saturn. It's those two things. And I keep saying this over and over again. I keep clarifying this over and over again for the past fucking 2 years. I've been clarifying this. And when it comes to that South Node Libra, the feminism, the liberalism, the extremes of it, that is, it's the African American female who was the head, the one who offered her entire being to embody that movement, to demonstrate it, to exemplify it. Even though it was white women's idea, it was a black woman who put her entire soul and identity into it. She sacrificed everything to empower it. Politically, socially, domestically. She put her entire being into it. She's the one who became the white supremacist against the African American male. She inherited his assignment. She inherited his work. She carried on his dirty work and his oppression. She did against the black male. She did it. The African American feminist. The same way that he views black males, the same way that he treats black males, the same way that he relates to black males, the same way that he propagandizes against black males, she has inherited every drop of that. This is the time where it's time to pay. You have the opportunity to come clean. You have the opportunity to heal through the water trine. Start with confession and then finding forgiveness for yourself through act of commitment and atonement, which rectifies and corrects. It commits to that course. But should you make the mistake of going a route of pride, defiance, and pretending like you don't know what the fuck going on, pretending like you don't know why you standing in court, to pretend like you don't know why you got pulled over, to act dumb like you don't know what this is, that's the worst thing you could do, because now you further the karmic outcome. You deepen the depth. You increase the weight, and you extend the sentence that comes after this. So white supremacists and African American females, these two heads, these two leaders in America, they're in court right now. Saturn's going direct. And what you're going to find is when the stellium gets into Capricorn, the party bus is going to pick both of them up. There's 11 of you. There was 11 of you. There might be just 3 of you now. I don't know. But there were some of you who followed me the other 2 times when I had channels. Okay? I probably quit my channel 2 times before. And y'all remember this. And every time I'm spot on. When the stellium gets out of the 3 courts, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn is where the party bus picks up who comes out these courts. And there are consequences that everybody's going to see in world display. I'm calling it now. I'm letting you know why. I'm letting you know why it's going to happen when the stellium gets into Capricorn. Because most of them are going to resist to align with truth. Most of them are going to reject what they know is really happening right now. It's not free. What we do and say, how we behave, it's not free. There's a price. There's a penalty. If you should fall into oppression, especially through pride. The African American feminist and the white supremacist is the same fucking person. Pisces, Saturn direct. Come on, tell me. What were you in the habit of escaping into? What used to be your escape route with Venus? Come on, tell me the truth. Right? Say it to yourself. We're going to respect your privacy. You know what I mean? But I want you to ask the question. Nobody's in the room except for me and you. What was your escape? What was your convenient escape route that you kept going into? How did you run away from the truth? How did you run away from what was real? How did you dodge responsibility? Come on. How did you escape and dodge accountability emotionally for what you suffered emotionally? How did you escape it? What was that habit that you got confronted with through Saturn? Come on, tell the truth. The description's right there in your 12th house. It tells on you. It lets you know. Understand? In your Saturn natal placement, it exposes the exercise that is a karmic bond by which you were to realize this over and over again. Where you give your authority away, where you conveniently overlook your power of consent, and once you become the victim of yourself, you're looking for somebody else to transfer that responsibility over and say, oh, so-and-so did this or such and such did that, and that's why I'm going through this. No, there were things for you to pay attention to. That's why you're going through it. And we're supposed to learn. Understand. Are you not free? But do we not yet understand what it means to be free? What goes with freedom? Accountability and moral commitment. We should know this by now. How many times I gotta say it? Understand. Without moral commitment and accountability, your freedom is nothing but a means, a route to your own self-entrapment, self-victimization, because you are going to oppress and abuse yourself. Yes, you are. And you're going to want somebody else to be responsible for it. You're going to want to transfer that burden to somebody else. Where do we have, or where have we had emotional ideals of what we thought should be true, should be real, but the fuck it ain't, nigga? It should be this way. It should be that way. Well, ideally, it needs to be this way, or it should. Well, it's not. Find the reality. Grind your foot into that reality and work from there with a spirit and attitude of acceptance for what is in your capacity and what idealistically is realistic. Where have we been avoiding responsibility for the fear that we have in ourselves? Where have we avoided responsibility for the guilt that's in ourselves, for the shame? Where does that responsibility lead to if we are to recover it? It leads to refinement. Virgo, South Node. It leads to refinement. Sixth house. It leads to the performance of duties and responsibilities. Sixth house. What is to be performed? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Holy Quran, O ye who believe, fulfill all duties and obligations. Fulfill all duties and obligations. O ye who believe. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. That goes back to Pisces. Fulfill all duties and obligations. Saturn. The pairing of Pisces and Saturn. And sixth house is how we fulfill. The eighth house is what we are fulfilling of duties, obligations. And the 10th house is a capacity by which we have to do that. Do we understand this right now? Do we know this and remember this right now? Because that was a source of victimization. The avoidance, escapism, avoiding what was waiting for us at the sixth house, avoiding the instructions of our sixth house, avoiding the details of commitment to our sixth house. Virgo. South Node Virgo. The sixth house is your offering. Cain killed Abel. Cain killed Abel. There is envy at the fact that God accepted Abel's offering, but didn't accept Cain's. Thus we come with the same energy and attitude: envy, self-hate, victimization. Why? Because we didn't learn how to prepare a proper offering at the sixth house. Because ultimately that's what the sixth house is. It's the condition and status of your offering. And that condition and status of the offering, that which you put your hands on to produce of that which you might be able to expect as an outcome at the 10th house. And the 10th house is that which you repetitively do, and it forms into what? A character, status, reputation, something by which you are known. And if it should rise to the MC, it becomes notoriety. It becomes the respect that you're looking for. It becomes the status that you're looking for. It becomes the character that gives you a yes finally, that gains you access finally. But victim, no, we don't get to be that. And all of these things are the works of Saturn, the earth trine. Understand? And that falls into the second house. where your self-esteem comes from. Showing and proving what your values are all about. Making a proof of what really is valuable to you. You make the time, 6th house, for what you value. You produce and form the character to exemplify what you value or what your values are. No victim. Did we learn yet? As Saturn goes direct, have we learned yet? Saturn direct in Pisces. Saturn direct in Pisces. Responsibility, accountability, you heard? Grit. Showing up in the fog, not running away from the fog. Investigating, making sense of the fog, not just blaming it on whatever happened. Also, the victim mentality. Who are you now that you realize you're not a fucking victim? Yeah, you grew some nuts. You grew some fucking balls now. Saturn direct motion. The picture, the vision, the concept. It's attainable only because now we might be more realistic than what we were before Saturn went retrograde. More realistic. That narcissism at the South Node Virgo, I gotta be perfect. If it's not perfect and if I'm not perfect, if it don't appear or look to be perfect, it can't be done, it shouldn't be done. I ain't doing it. I refuse to associate or brand myself with anything that doesn't have the appearance of perfection. But none of it is found true in who you are behind doors, 12th house, in secret. You know your status ain't perfect, but you want everybody else to think that it is. Guess what? We lost the ability to pull off that lie because it's no longer accessible to us to fabricate that lie. Because loans, bank loans, is not something that a common person can get anymore. People are struggling to hold on to the things that gave them the illusion of being successful, of being a cookie cutter representation of what you swipe on Instagram and see everybody else doing. The picture perfect lifestyle, the picture perfect relationship, the expensive cars, the big houses, gated communities, European fashion. I'm a boss, babe. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm independent. I got it going on. Y'all niggas dusty. Y'all niggas broke. Y'all niggas struggling. Yeah, kill all that noise. All that shit is exposed. It's no longer accessible as an act to participate in. Food stamps was threatened. SNAP benefits was threatened. Welfare state come crashing down. Lyndon B. Johnson's project is now dissolved. Running on the last wheel. Flat tire on the side of the road. Smoking engine. Okay, who are you now? What do you have access to now? Who can you show up as now? You got to come out the closet, 12th house Pisces, and you got to be realistic. You have to represent yourself as how you should have presented yourself in the first fucking place as a true and authentic person. A common person, a regular person, just like everybody else. Stop the fucking bullshit. There's very few who pull off what you wanted everybody to think that you are. Back to life, back to reality. Wake your ass up. So these things was learned. that you might not be better than your natural male or female counterpart. You might not be on a high fucking horse that you thought you was. You might not be this lofty qualification or the people of your community that should not have contact or access to you because you fucking better than everybody. The dating disparity. Y'all niggas ain't on my level. Y'all niggas ain't on my level. Or actually, come to find out, you are on the level, and that is your destined natural counterpart. But you too arrogant and narcissistic to admit it and surrender to what has been destined for you. You want something else because you idealized Pisces, Neptune, Pisces, Neptune transit, what was on the fucking internet. You made real for you what was on the internet and you forgot the reality of your own life. Did we learn these things? South Node Virgo always holding the context. Correlated to Saturn in the expression of number 9, working against the detriment of Venus, recovering us from subjugation to the shadow and deception of Venus, Luciferic light, coming back to truth within the self, being reborn, and some of us being resurrected. That brings into account both Virgo and Scorpio access to the renewal of the self, the recovery of the self, the empowerment of the status of the self, the true and natural authentic identity with inalienable rights, seeing through the illusion of the fictitious character, the incorporated being status of shadow detriment, shadow 8, shadow Saturn. Capricorn Pluto transit is over. Obama era is over. We're getting sober. Life path number 9, heart soul urge number 9. We are getting sober. We're stepping into priesthood. We are accepting our assignment that God gave us. We are recovering our godlike nature and status and identities. We are positioning to bring in the kingdom of heaven here on earth. This is what it means that Christ is returned. It's the Christ impulse within the self that is recovered. Wisdom from the heart, 5th house, actualize, place into sincerity as a full moon Taurus over a 6-month course dissolves illusions, delusions, falsehoods of the things that we once used to value as our point of stability. No longer stabilizing ourselves on a lie. No longer building our footing on a lie, but on truth. On what really should be valuable to us according to the identity of the 1st house, which manifests the form of the concept of compassion and understanding that we are at the 12th house. That which we suffered to learn to become the savior of. I ain't fucking stuttering. I'm flowing. I'm channeling. Because the wisdom is not mine. It is ours. And just like it flows through me, it's supposed to flow through you. But how do you live? Life path number 9. Heart soul urge number 1. That's me. But right now, all of us are subject to life path number 9. Because I'm familiar with life path number 9, I might be able to explain it a little more easy. But it's all of our duty, and it's all of our capacity. All of us. I'm a voice of truth, and you're supposed to be a voice of truth too. But you gotta have courage to do that. You gotta have guts to do that. You gotta take yourself serious, and you gotta take your life serious. You gotta get sober to do that. Stop running, nigga. Stop running. did we learn? North Node Pisces, number 7, Neptune. We are seeing through the illusions of constructs, the illusions of infrastructure, the illusions of systems. We are seeing through the illusion of legacies. We are seeing the truth that is really there. Doing the due diligence of investigating these things, coming to the truth. Transforming inevitable isolation, South Node number 9 Virgo, into solitude, which is the embrace of the divine in the self. 12th house, affirmation, confirmation of the actualization of suffering that transmutes into compassion and wisdom. You will know them by their fruits. Do you flow with wisdom? Are you a channel of wisdom and truth? Is your Chiron a point of toxicity, or is it a point by which you teach and educate and enlighten? Motivated by that which you yourself has suffered. We all have assignments to do. And you should know exactly what that's supposed to consist of, because a job status and a job title is not why the fuck you came on earth. You have to get beyond that. That selfish ass intention of your job title, your job status. You have a spiritual assignment in this world, in this life, and you're supposed to be fucking doing it and clarifying it. Not being an arrogant piece of shit who just wants to claim a job, get a check, and hide out from the work. What's your portion that you owe? You owe the report on all that you suffered. The demonstration on how it has enlightened you. Neptune Pisces, it tested us through the internet. Saturn is closing up that test, that lesson. So this ascends us to mastery of the illusions through the internet. At this point, we are not supposed to be in position to be fooled, misled, lied to, propagated on, fear-mongered, or any of the above by the power of Neptune that sees through the illusion of these things. By the power of Neptune Pisces transit that taught us the magic and witchcraft of all these things. Getting at the truth. And that comes back to the true and natural person. I encourage you all to begin learning civics, law, biochemistry, history, and find the consistency in it and spiritual interpretation. And don't look back. You're gonna need it. Aries Saturn transit is going to challenge this in you, and rather or not, you showed up for that. It's going to restrict your identity in the surveillance state that's coming up. The oppression of the fictitious character. The attempt to gain your consent through fear and provocation, propaganda, fear-mongering, illusions, misinformation, false narratives, to keep you as the host of dark magic vitality, the vampirism. But what are you falling for? transfer the energy that you take and getting offended by the infamous and use that same energy to decode what's going on in your world. Because if you will put just a little bit of effort behind that yourself, it will reflect in your ability to understand that you can help me in what I'm doing. And not sit there fucking crying. I can help you. Because what you can reflect and what you can bring down from revelation is different than what I have access to. And it's made that way for a reason, because we're all meant to unify. But what happens when one motherfucker is scared of the truth and one motherfucker ain't? The ones who scared of the truth is going to vilify the one who ain't. So you can point your finger and say, that's the bad guy. Y'all heard that shit before. Scarface, you heard? Wake the fuck up. It's time to get to work on this. You know what I mean? Stop jacking off in the fucking corner. Time to get to work. Saturn going direct in Pisces, same time as Mercury going direct in Scorpio. You already know this naturally expresses a trine right along with Jupiter that's retrograde currently. It is a big deal. Pisces brings us to 12th house matters. It's in the water. Anything that's in the water, we know this has to do with salvation, healing, purification, emotional stability, and emotional technology that we utilize within the self, accountability, matters of the heart, the subconscious specifically, that rules us and controls us through fear, shame, and guilt. Where it all arises at is understanding the power of forgiveness that begins with the self, and it affords it for others. The power of trust that begins with the self, and it affords it for others. The power of compassion that we will find for the self, and it affords for others. Understanding that we find for the self, and it affords for others. Empathy, sincerity, and that rises to afford for others as well. The water trine is something serious. It's not work that we can halfway do. It's not something to underestimate, push under the rug, and say, oh, it'll be okay. It's the source of life. Your chart is you. It explains and expresses what is living about you. It's a description of what life means to you and what it means for you. So we should take care of it. You can't take care of yourself without the water. That's where all that work begins. Everything else is a sign, a testimony, and a witnessing to what is in the water, to what's going on in the water, to what's being sourced from the water. Everything. No matter what it is that you point at in the chart, it has its root and source in water. Every living thing that you see on the earth, it has its root and source in the water. Everything that is manifest, it has its root and source in water. So likewise are you. So likewise is me. '12 house themes. When I do natal birth chart readings, I like to start from the 12th house. I don't like to start from the first house. I like to start from the 12th house if I'm going to go around the whole chart. And there's a reason for that. I want to know where you're coming from. Where you coming from. And that's really where you're coming from. Not even so much the South Node. Yeah, it explains a lot. Karmically, in what you have already closed of spiritual assignments, missions, in this star system, other star systems, this lifetime, other lifetimes. Yeah, that's all good. We like to get into that. It's needed. Got to get the background. But the 12th house, yes, that's in the blood. You inherited something there, even from the womb. We were connected to our mother, seeded from the father, and it's clarified right there at the 12th house. The only thing is that before the 29th and a half year Saturn return, uniquely remember, I am speaking about Saturn as I go into these things. Before that 29th and a half year, we're subject to illusions of that 12th house. Undoings. Subconscious burdens. Cycles that fulfills the definition of insanity over and over again, undoing yourself, sabotaging yourself, punishing yourself, setting yourself back, turning yourself upside down, deliberately creating scenarios and circumstances in which you could say that you're the victim. It's a place where we don't even realize that that's really where we're coming from in our motives. That our actions and behaviors, the patterns thereof, it's being driven by that. Your Mars works for the 12th house until you become conscious enough to take command and turn Mars over to Jupiter, to the moon, and to remain consistent to keep Uranus as authority over the changes that Mars has to make from time to time within the limitations and patriarchal discipline of Saturn. All of this has to work together. But we back into those lessons like you back a car into a parking spot. You don't pull into it understanding what's going on. You don't. All of us have to learn compassion and understanding. Without compassion and understanding, we don't have power in our humanity. Wisdom is also incomplete without it. And to be civilized is something that we don't get to define without compassion and understanding. Because overall, we're here for the matriarchal principle. No matter what we do, it has to make sense within matriarchal terms. So we start life out generating compassion and understanding. But by what means are we generating compassion and understanding? Suffering. It is simply what you suffer. You're suffering what you can't understand. And what's to be understood is yourself. Compassion is not something we can get from reading books, hanging around nice people who smile all the time and shake hands, wear cologne and perfume, ask you how your mother's doing, bake a cake for your neighbor, change a tire when a flat on the side of the road. Because internally, the internal conversations, the remarks, the comments, the thoughts, the opinions, the interpretation of what we're seeing, it falls into ignorance and vice every time if we did not suffer what we're showing up to, if we can't relate to it. We're only at the surface of decoding, explaining, understanding what the other person is suffering. And that right there is what makes an uncivilized bastard, an insensitive, uncivilized motherfucker who ain't never been through shit. A person who's never been through something, who's never walked through pain, misery, humiliation, shame, regret, loss, blockages, setbacks, downfalls, powerlessness, helplessness, humiliation, hunger. You've never been through that. You don't know nothing about compassion. You don't know anything about understanding. You know what is written and you know what is said. And you're gullible. Pisces, or 12th house, and make sure that where we're coming from is compassion and where we're coming from is understanding, as the 12th house is actually where you are coming from. It is the concept of the first house. It is the concept of first house. The manifestation of the concept of the 12th house is the first house. The sign and energy of the 12th house. It manifests in physical. It manifests in action and behavior, in stature, demeanor, image, philosophy of the signs, energies, and aspects of the first house. It's what makes it comprehensive from the 3D. But what we're conceptualizing in the state, look at my word, in the state of being first house, what we are conceptualizing in the state of being in first house is a particular modality of compassion. In order to model modality, in order to model a particular image of compassion, you have to pass through a particular lane, life path of suffering. Thus, the life path number that matches the context of the 12th house conceptualization of what compassion should mean. And it starts by you suffering the ninth, I was going to name my life path. It comes by you suffering the numerological shadow of your life path. And that's what initiates the numerological illumination of your life path, in which light comes from darkness. This is where Chiron comes into effect, the wounded healer. You have to feel. You have to actively hold and host the burden of a particular pain, a particular inadequacy, a particular insecurity. And it has to be fine-tuned with all 12 signs as the transiting Chiron passes through every house. And that gives you full range of understanding with the assignment of healing that you have that's unique to your state of being, first house in Aries, your identity. And compassion is the power that backs it. Compassion ain't to just manifest an attitude, outlook, behavior, and demeanor of some bitch ass nigga. It's not about that. It's not to be fucking soft. It's not to be a little bitch. It's to understand and relate to suffering of others. It's to understand what someone needs before they can mention it, before they can say it. They don't have to explain it. It's to know how to meet your community where they are, how to meet those who need you, how to meet them right where they are. You know how to find those who you are sent to because you had to walk through that pathway of suffering. You had to go through that valley of shadows of death. That's 12th house. It's valleys of shadows of death. And it trines Scorpio, 8th house, which is to experience such with others. And the 12th house is to experience that in your own consciousness. The 8th house is where someone else brings it out of you after you have suppressed it. Understand that. Compassion is the greatest lesson. Compassion always identifies with love. And so does understanding, the twin of compassion. You look at the face of compassion, you look at the face of understanding, you cannot tell the difference. They are identical twins. What is it about your 12th house that you suffer? That you started out suffering? Well, you're saying to yourself, I wish somebody understood. I wish somebody would just get it. I wish I wouldn't be judged on the surface for how my situation looks or how my status looks. I wish somebody could walk with me and really see how to interpret where they find me at. I wish somebody could relate to me in the things that I have to bear and endure, and not just quickly judge and write me off. Somebody should understand the shit I have to go through, that I have to suffer. And I don't see nobody else going through this. I don't see nobody else suffering this. Why am I so fucked up? Yeah, that's the 12th house. And it's realizing that your own hands have done it to you. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Why do I keep putting myself through this? Why do I keep causing myself to suffer? It's your destiny to go through that. And that's why your soul is making sure that you do. Your soul is constructing these lessons early on in your life, 29 and a half years old. Up into 29 and a half years old. Your soul is initiating and constructing these lessons, these cycles. Because your soul knows that you're going to need compassion in your journey. So it's helping you to co-create the power of compassion and understanding. To co-create the power of compassion and understanding, you must suffer particular things. You must suffer unique things. You must suffer specific things that in hindsight, through lunar power and through Neptune vision, becomes oracle for you. And that oracle becomes the lantern of light that reflects down to the earth, just like the borrowed light of the sun reflecting off of the moon to the earth, just enough light to see through the dark, to guide others and comfort others, to advocate for others, to deliver compassion and understanding, to meet others where they just cannot explain where to find me at. You're in the dark, in the deep of the woods. Somebody walking through there with a lantern. Where are you? I can't explain where I'm at. It's dark out here. It's a bunch of trees, it's bushes, it's stuff moving around I can't see. I'm right here. Where the fuck is here? I'm right here. What do you mean here? Where the fuck is here at? I don't know where here is at, but because you've been there so many times and you suffered it, you know where they're at. No, beloved, stay there. I know where you at. I got you. I'm on the way. Okay, but it's dark out here. It's scary out here. It's cold out here. I don't know how to explain where I'm at. I'm lost. No, you're not lost. I know where you at. I'm on the way. I'll be there in a second. I got you. That's why you got to suffer those things. And that's why you got to go over it over and over and over and over and over and over again. Constantly suffering the same fucking thing. In different ways, with different people, but the same energy. You got to do it repetitively. Why? Because you must master that awareness. It has to be mastered, that awareness. And awareness has to be mastered through each cycle, 2.5 year cycle of Saturn, as it passes from every house and constellation. Because what that does is it opens spiritual authority in every house and constellation that allows you to drive power in every house and constellation within the context of that 12th house. Compassion. Understand that. That's a master. That's a master. So no matter what way you spin it, I understand it. And that's just a mustard seed that every one of us get of love. But it moves mountains. Fuck is you talking about? Understand that. Didn't Jesus tell you? You know what I mean? Greater works will ye do? Yeah, that's his time. Greater works will ye do. You doing greater works than Jesus did. Understand? Yeah, he was talking about you. Greater works will ye do. And you doing it. Compassion and understanding is powerful. It's greater than knowledge. It's greater than wisdom. Understanding. There's levels to this. Understanding is supreme. It is supreme. It is the equal to love. It is love. And we suffer to embody it. We suffer to have access to it. We have to relate. In relating, we understand our assignment. And the assignment is that you find yourself in your reality, you find yourself in your life path, you find yourself in a world, and you heal yourself. And you say, well, what kind of sense does that make? You're here for yourself? Well, actually you are. That suffering in you is going to make your act of love, compassion, and understanding, your service of healing, irresistible in your spirit. It's something you won't be able to resist. When you see someone else or some others who suffer what you suffered, who had to keep going through over and over again what it is that you're going through, when you see the reflection of yourself in others, nothing can stop you from delivering that compassion and understanding. Nothing can stop you. And you are empowered to do so through Pluto. And through Saturn, you're authorized to make use of, to utilize that power. You're authorized. Because by the 29th and a half year, you've already been orientated in authority in every sign and constellation, in every planet. Every aspect, understand that. And that Saturn doubles back around, you get mastery in all of those. You get your PhD. That's real education. That's real education. Spiritual education is real education. And the transfer of spiritual education into the physical, civics and law, mathematics, history, biochemistry. Because all of this is to witness spiritual law and spiritual wisdom. And it completes it. Everything else is extra. And art is what animates it all. Fuck out of here. So, anyways, 12th house. What have you learned, huh? Come on. What have you learned? Saturn's about to go in direct motion. What have you learned? It's the last decan of Pisces. Final direct motion of Saturn out of Pisces, which means you're closing up a karmic cycle. You're closing up a karmic lesson in Pisces. What are some of these themes, right? How do you now understand guilt? How do you now understand fear? How do you now understand shame? How do you now understand your impulse to escape instead of confront? How do you now understand yourself as a fugitive on the run, a fugitive from justice? And the benefits of just turning yourself in. What do you understand now about the fact that refusing to confront it, admit it, acknowledge it, turn around and face it, fucking deal with it, it takes more control over you. It takes more control over your life. What do we understand now about the simple fact that your intentions are not required for the power of your subconscious to totally dominate your behavior and the outcomes that you manifest? Your noble intentions is not required. Your goody two-shoe intentions ain't got shit to do with it. The moral high horse of saying, oh, I only meant to, I was only trying to, I'm really a good person, I'm not a bad person. Fuck that got to do with it. Save the fucking noise. You're talking out your ass. What the fuck does that got to do with it? The fact that subconsciously you're not taking command of what is driving the impulses of your behaviors and actions, thus making you impulsive, reactionary, and not responsive. And what happens when you allow yourself to fall into reactionary mode because of the avoidance that you are subjected to? Avoiding the truth, dodging responsibility, avoiding accountability, projecting, making it about something else or someone else that is not, refusing to admit, rejecting the responsibility that you have to the guilt that is burning in your subconscious. Investigate the guilt, face the guilt, unpack the guilt, admit what's true and align with what is true. To get to the forgiveness, we have to get to the atonement. The change in behaviors, the change in actions, and the commitment to that change in course. That really starts the healing. That makes the act of forgiveness genuine. And that naturally flows in how we can afford to forgive others, because of compassionate insight that we gain of what it took to forgive ourselves. We understand that it takes a lot to forgive another person. And a wish that we had that we could forgive ourselves finally. We understand how difficult it is for a person to feel forgiven. Compassion illuminates spiritual activity. It allows you to see in the dark how the spirit is moving. Saturn was teaching us specific things about that 12th house. It was teaching us that freedom is something we're only going to abuse. We're only going to entrap ourselves. We're going to hurt ourselves if we can't learn to be accountable for what we have the power to do and say, to be. If we can't be accountable to what we have access to, if we can't be accountable to the free range that we do have and what we choose to do with it, if there's no accountability, there's only victimhood on the other side, and you fucking yourself up, wrecking your car and turning it upside down for somebody else to pay for. Like a spoiled rich kid. As long as somebody's there to bail you out, justify it, cover your faults, say, oh, it's not you. Don't worry about it. Somebody else did it to you. You never change. Saturn taught us a lot about what it's going to take to respect freedom. Where the fuck is the stellium going at next? Come on, guys. Pay attention. Where's the stellium going at next? It's going to Sagittarius for the rest of the year, into March. The stellium is in Sagittarius. That is freedom. This direct motion of Mercury is supposed to align our mindset with truth. Not the arrogance of thinking you know every fucking thing, but the humility of admitting that I was out of line and now it's time to get in line with what is authentic and stop bullshitting. Because you ain't fooling nobody, including yourself. You're really just fooling yourself. It's about that. That real power can only transfer through an authentic course, lest you pull on dark power, which is destiny swapping. Y'all want to talk about that? right? Yeah, y'all don't want to talk about that. So to get to the Sagittarius stellium of freedom, we have to remember these things from whence we learn he obedience through the things that he suffered. That is Saturn. What are the things that you suffered? We suffered things in our lack of accountability. In our refusal to accountability, we suffered things. And it had to do with how we abused our freedom, how we abused our free will. And what did that cause? It caused you not to trust yourself. It destroyed the trust that you're supposed to have for yourself. And when you don't trust yourself, guess what? You don't trust nobody else. And you think it's other people's fault why you don't have no trust. No, you don't trust yourself. And where is trust? 8th house, Scorpio. Where is the stellium leaving from? Scorpio. And where does Mercury direct motion starting off at? Scorpio. Trust should be regained at this point because we realize these things. Fuck is you talking about? Fuck out of here. And stop bullshitting. Stop bullshitting. Can't tell me Saturn is not a good teacher. Obaluaye. Baba Obaluaye teaches us hard lessons. Hard lessons. But it gives strength. Understand? And trying to this lesson of accountability, Cancer, Jupiter expansion and retrograde, the internal realization of our competence, of the matriarchal values, commitment and obligations that we owe through the spirit if we are to be civilized, if we are to feel secure in this life, in this world, that is only through our matriarchal duty that we perform an obligation to each other. Because in heaven we are obligated to each other, not just to ourselves. We are entrusted to each other. Brotherhood, sisterhood. The one who's hungry is our duty and obligation. The one who's not safe, who's insecure, who's not secured is our duty and obligation. The one who's weak is our duty and obligation. The one who doesn't have a voice is our duty and obligation. The one who's lacking is our duty and obligation. The one who's afraid is our duty and obligation. The one who's dishonored, disrespect, oppressed, suffering, in bondage is our duty and obligation. We don't have the right, according to the matriarchal law, to turn our head and look the other way and act like we ain't see that shit. That's the heavenly law. Internally, that's what's being recovered. It's that competence through Jupiter internally retrograde. And that's a trine to the lesson of accountability. No child left behind. And every one of us through Cancer is eternally an inner child. We are eternally a child of Mother Yemeya, the mother of all Orishas, the source of compassion, the source of emotional security, depth, enrichment, nurturing, well-being, civilization, the identity of women, the status of women. Fuck is you talking about? Fuck out of here. That trine is bringing back that balance to remember the moral commitment and obligation and accountability. Because if we cannot remember that, along with the third point of the trine, Scorpio, stay true, stay real, stay authentic. Stop running away from the fucking truth. Don't be a fugitive to the truth. The truth don't like you and the truth don't like me. The truth is not your friend and it's not my friend. It's not supposed to be your fucking friend. Yes, it hurts, fucking dickhead. It's supposed to hurt. But you gotta figure it out and align with it. Align with the truth. That's where the empowerment is at. Not packing on cotton and soft fucking pillows in your blissful castle of ignorance, willful ignorance. It's about opening up to the truth, not indulging in convenient facts that were registered by liars. Don't fucking get me started. And y'all know the shit I be on and what I be talking about with this. I ain't gonna go into it, but y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. The same shit y'all motherfuckers is scared to even listen to. Soon as you hear it, your fucking bones start shaking and shit. Start peeing on yourself and go into fucking convulsions. Oh, the infamous, what does he always do? Oh my God, it's such a Debbie Downer. He just, what does he do? Talk about flowers and nice things and unsubscribe. Crying ass motherfuckers. I'll start talking about some shit, your fucking pussy start hurting. Fuck out of here. So we got to remember these 3 points. I'll summarize it again because I really do want us to understand this. Pisces direct motion, Saturn. Do you understand the laws of accountability before we go forward? Do you understand that your guilt is something that you need to process, and you can only process it by aligning with the truth and finding forgiveness and atonement while being consistently in a state of confession with yourself and others if you want to release that guilt? Not projecting and finding people who conveniently agree with your sickness like a dog that returns to its vomit. And collectively, you know who this point at. The whole fucking earth is pointing at white supremacy right now. The whole fucking earth is pointing at white Christian nationalists right now with this same fucking subject. All indigenous peoples of the whole entire earth is saying, you motherfuckers and Khazarians have fucked all of us with no Vaseline and a long ass fucking dick for too long, and we ain't taking it no fucking more. And when somebody brings up the truth about the legacy of Christianity in this earth in response to the propaganda and fabrication of vilifying Muslims, black people, or Hispanic people, or whoever else is indigenous in this earth or native in this earth, it's a fucking problem. Yes, that is the fucking current topic, and nobody's gonna change that. So you can tuck your tail, you can go running high, you can, I'm gonna find somebody else to tell me about astrology. That's all cool. You still a fugitive from the truth. So what fucking difference do it make? Guess what? You're gonna run right back into that truth. It's gonna slap you dead in your fucking face and slap the taste out your goddamn mouth. And the last tooth that's hanging out your fucking head is gonna fall. No fucking joke. Feminism is being addressed. A nation can't rise higher than its woman. Cancer Jupiter is about the status of nations, communities, demographics, households, and the legacies that they have held. Cancer Mars retrograde was about dealing with the toxicity that came from that, creating legacies of toxicity because of that, and how it has been projected instead of dealt with and confronted and healed, terrorizing the inner child and isolating the self from the inner child And on the surface of the earth, this was done by miseducating, misusing, and using and abusing females of society as useful idiots to destroy and dismantle nations through the dismantle of family units. Feminism fucked up the whole West. It made the kids weird, estranged, alienated fathers, alienated men from society. It turned civilization upside fucking down. It has women destroying themselves voluntarily and celebrating it as they do it. There's nothing worse that could have happened for women than feminism. The extremes of such. And the correction is here. And a lot of y'all females don't want to deal with that. You get an attitude, you get mad. You want the infamous to be quiet. Take back his words. Don't go into that. Don't talk about that. No, deal with it. Because you know it's the truth too. Everybody knows it's true. Females have been wilding. And let's keep it a buck. It's not women's fault. It's not their fault. They've been used by black magic high priestess and high priest. I'm not even going to say priestess, patriarchal. Black magic high priest have put them up to this. Black magic sorcerers, warlocks have done this to women of the Western nations. Got you to use your own pussy against yourself. Got you to use your own nature against your society and nation. Dumb you down to where you are downright ignorant, dumb, stupid as a box of fucking rocks in who you are as a woman. Ain't got a goddamn clue. You got a rugged ass nigga like me explaining this shit, and it's not gonna come out right coming from me. It's gonna come out better coming from you as women. But I'll do it, because ain't none of y'all bitches doing it. It's some women out here who really are trying, but it's not enough. Because there's too much cowardice with females. It's too much cowardice. Females are always looking for a way to dissociate themselves from the burden, dissociate themselves from the work, the obligation, the duty, the responsibility that they know is clearly theirs to stand in operation of and deliver. But then when a man like me, gritty to the motherfucking bone, hard as a motherfucking rock, hard as a cold Russian in an ice storm, gotta explain this shit. It don't come out right. It hurts. And I get it. It fucking hurts. But American bitches are all fucked up. No, I can't make a sweeping indictment and say it's all of y'all. But y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Don't act like I'm fucking crazy, like I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just talking to a fucking wall. You know what I'm talking about. American bitches is all fucked up. And as much education as they have all these college degrees, dumb as a box of fucking rocks. Simple-minded, feeble-minded. No depth. There's nothing deep about them. Nothing mysterious. Nothing to wait on. It's not all of them. But it's too fucking many to where American women have been branded with this image and reputation. Fucking prostitutes of themselves. And they celebrate the status of being prostitutes. What, you think it's an exaggeration when I say, you know what I'm saying? Pussy is on clearance, 79% off on the clearance rack right next to the door. Grab two on your way out. No, that's real fucking talk, nigga. That's real talk. It's been like that since the Obama era. You're going to get back at the patriarchy. You're going to make the patriarchy pay by reducing yourself to a prostitute, by stripping yourself of all of your mystery, by taking away the depth of wisdom that you are to embody. through lunar and emotional mysticism within yourself, embodying Neptune, Venus, and the moon, a superior position in this earth through nature. You. The woman is a means by which we judge a nation and where its status is at. The esteem of the women, the reputation of the women, and the depth of security that surrounds the women. How is there a depth of security around naked, butt-ass naked women in a society? Women who are just ran through in society, high mileage, multiple sex partners, sucking this dick, riding that dick, all worked out, career ambition, but betrayed the fourth house, the essence of the being. They fall for anything, they believe anything because there's no depth in them. There's no sophistication in the Western woman. She has lost all of her sophistication. There's nothing sophisticated about Western women anymore. She gave it all away. She has to be taught. She has to be trained. She has to be developed. And if it's not directly from a teacher, she got to go through shit to that equivalence in order to come out at that depth of wisdom in herself as a woman, because she embodies wisdom. Fuck is you talking about? Any community you go to, you look at the women and you know what that community is on. You know what they about. Do the women have self-respect? Do they have dignity? Are they naked? You know what I mean? Are they objectified? Do they feel safe? Are they walking around broken, hungry, struggling? Are they ran through? A bunch of fucking baby mamas and a whole bunch of baby daddies and all this other stuff. What are they on in the city? What are they on? That let you know everything right there, that is the standard of that city. The city it's impossible for a city, a nation, a community, or demographic to be any higher than the status of their common women. Fucking impossible. You can only go as high as the woman. Even in a relationship. You walking down the street, swing your hands with your girl. It don't matter what your status is as a man. You are the equivalent of the type of woman that you choose. You're this great man, this lofty status, and you sacrificed to climb all these ladders in the world, and you fought dragons, lions, tigers, and bears to get up there on the top wearing a crown. But if you walking with a little slut, that's your status, nigga. Because you walking with a fucking slut. Yeah. You are what your woman is, and your family falls under the level of your woman. Your family cannot have a reputation or status that is higher than the women of that family. Now I say that to say this. Christianity is lip service. You can't tell the difference between a fucking slut walking the street and a Christian woman because all of them claim it. All of them got a cross on while they twerking. All of them talking about Jesus while they doing some slutty ass shit. That's lip service and everybody know it. It don't go past their fucking mouth. But you can't say that about Muslim women. You can't point at Muslim women and say that. No, the fuck you can't. And it don't matter what madhab of Islam that you go to. Sunni, Salafi, Hanbali, Ali, Moorish Science Temple, Nation of Islam, 5% Nation of Gods and Earths. Pick one. And equally, they represent the status of consciousness of the men who secure them. Have conversations with Muslim men, and you understand what I'm talking about. Little ratchet ass, ghetto ass females running around the town, you know that that's exactly what the niggas of they town is upon. Some ratchet ass shit. Understand? You ain't rising no higher than a woman. Not your nation. That's as far as it's going to go, because guess what? Who's the mother tongue of the children? Who teaches the children? Who is the greatest influencer to the children before that they turn 8 years old, before that they're old enough to know how to tie their shoe? The woman, the mother. She sets the basis and essence, the moon of the child. She sets the moonlight of the child. She sets the lunar expression of the child. She sets the lunar status and embodiment of the child. And the child will never stray from that. It is calibrated, it is set, and it'll never fucking change. So, you got females walking around acting like full prostitutes and don't want you to say nothing about it, cussing like a damn sailor, tattoos all over their fucking body from head to toe, wigs, ain't never seen their real hair, fake lashes, fake teeth, fake eyebrows, fake nails, fake BBLs, and every goddamn thing on their body is fake. So what do you think they're transferring to the children? Superficiality, fear and terror of being themselves, fugitives from themselves, narcissists, empty inside, completely dead inside, but claiming the lofty status and attributes of heavenly gods in who they are. Thinking that a college education and a good job is going to disguise all of that bullshit, but it doesn't. Somebody has to start teaching women. Somebody has to start properly educating women. Because the way that women do it, it's not effective. It's not helpful. It don't do shit. It's full of shit. There's a bunch of goddamn poetry. Moon rituals and all this other bullshit and poetry and sweet sayings and healing journey and this journey and my this journey and that journey and journey. Bitch, you a fucking journey ass motherfucking lie. Some lying ass bitches ain't doing shit. For as long as I've been alive, females have been running their fucking mouth talking about I'm on a healing journey and ain't healing shit. Fuck out of here with that. That's a bunch of fucking bullshit. They lie to themselves and they lie to each other, and that's how they want it. We can't go nowhere without the woman. We can't change a hill without the woman. It's impossible. You want to ruin the nation, ruin the women, and it's a wrap. You want to heal a nation, heal the women. You want to enlighten the nation, enlighten the women. A college education on the model of Rothschild Rockefeller 1902 General Education Board cannot fucking accomplish that. What don't we understand about that? The fucking devil can't do it to her. The devil can't heal her. The fucking devil can't teach her. Expecting those results and outcomes. How many American bitches are walking around here with degrees like a fucking thermostat? It still ain't shit. A narcissistic fraud of themselves. Can't get along with nobody. Toxic than a motherfucker. Turn the babies into nuke bombs and weapons of nuclear power against some male that they couldn't subdue and keep control of. Fugitives from themselves, refuse to accept and love themselves for who they are in a natural state, but yet have all these extreme demands of somebody else to love them. Hateful of the truth. Rejecting of any truth. Operating in full prostitution. Demystifying themselves every chance that they get. They cannot pair intimately, but work tirelessly to connect with full audiences and share all of their mysteries and secrets with full audiences. Undressing in front of the camera, eating in front of the camera, crying in front of the camera, sharing their secrets in front of the camera. There's no more mysteries or secrets for any special person because they already shared it with the entire fucking public. But the infamous is wrong. I'm the enemy. I'm the fucking bad guy. I'm evil. I'm misogynistic. No, fuck you. Fuck you with a long fucking dick. How about that? Fuck you with a long fucking dick. You the fucking problem. We can't fix nothing without fixing women. The concept that we have, the internalized picture and image that we have of what a woman is, what a healed woman is, what a great woman is some boss babe with a fucking corporate suit on, taking a picture with her arms crossed with some big ass fucking wig and high heels, standing like a man like she got a long ass fucking dick. A whole bunch of money, independence and career. Multiple lines of credit open. Finance car, finance house, finance this, finance that. Independent, I don't need no man. A bunch of fucking makeup and all this other fake shit that I named earlier. That is your idea of the ideal status woman. And that's part of the sickness. That's part of the fucking sickness. I was blessed to be raised in communities where women got proper education, where women were taught who they were as women. I was blessed to be raised amongst women who operated as women. I was blessed to see it for myself, what respecting women looks like, what it feels like, how it's to be done, and what it looks like for men to defend, protect the honor of women. And I learned it among Muslims, where they really do demonstrate it. It's not just something they say, it's something they do as a full fucking lifestyle. I had the honor of seeing my mother and sisters be beneficiaries of such culture within my family, as I was the first of Muslims in my family. My mother was second, and it spread through my whole family, Islam. I'm blessed to have a mother who really is a woman. Well, I can never be fooled about what a woman is or is not. Every time I see my mother, I could fall on the floor and kiss her feet. I have no shame, in worshiping her. No shame. And bowing to her every time I come before her. I have no shame in the thought or idea that I should bow before her fucking feet. Because when a woman is really being a woman, you can have it no other way. You can have no other thought. So anyway, went on that long ass tangent. And what I'm hoping is to scare a lot of y'all motherfuckers away. All y'all who got, you got all that dark fucking fear and guilt and hate and anger all up in your spirit and shit while you listen. Get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Save yourself and get the fuck on. I want all y'all motherfuckers to get out of here. Who, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got a problem with this. Yo, get the fuck on. You know what I mean? Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you and all that. Well, all y'all fake ass niggas to get the fuck on. All y'all fake bitches, get the fuck on. Fuck out of here. Saturn going direct in Pisces. We're going to notice that Saturn now is going to be supporting and sustaining your newfound concepts, that you now have a combination of things to sustain and make realistic, okay? Because mind you, before Saturn went retrograde, we had contact with this idea, but we didn't have the courage to really align with it and go forward. There was a hesitation, the shame, the guilt, all these other things layered on that we had to get to through that Scorpio Sagittarius cusp. That Scorpio Sagittarius cusp. Now, that Scorpio Sagittarius cusp is about the fact that unless you learn how to brave what it really means to align with truth, not just the surface, but to actually align with truth, and to understand what it takes to walk in freedom, which is accountability and moral commitment. Okay? And don't just take these terms lightly. I explain the fuck out of this shit. So nobody should be looking at these things that I'm saying lightly. Do a deep dive yourself, an investigation into what these things really mean in a spiritual sense. Because it's not nothing to be fucked with. It's not nothing to be played with, man. We had to recover these things so that we can have the clear conscience, so that we can have the clear imagination for creativity to expand in the conscience. The conscience or imagination, that is your heaven. And your heaven is where you bring the kingdom of heaven down into earth. And to bring the kingdom of heaven down into earth is to manifest the fifth house gift, an assignment, which reflects the light of the sun as a service into this world and earth, which is empowered by the spiritual power of compassion and understanding recovered from the 12th house itself. But we can't get to the clarity of that imagination if we don't clear the spirit through the water trine in active salvation, atonement, confession, forgiveness. If we can't deal with these things, you cannot get to the clarity of imagination because you're too intimidated by what you have subjected yourself to. The fear, the shame, the guilt, and the hesitation, the doubt, and everything else. You didn't clear that water. The water's fucking dirty, it's contaminated, and it's not going to work. So, if we do the due diligence, if we did clear these things up, the imagination expands effortlessly, understanding that Jupiter works with both Pisces and Sagittarius as a lord of Pisces and Sagittarius. Sagittarius to embody the truth that you have recovered and found the bravery and courage and resilience to finally align with after disillusionment has come to you on what the reality really is. No longer being a fugitive. And Pisces having to do with the rich creativity and imagination through the power of optimism and creativity and competence to conceptualize what we all are missing as a means or route to unification, compassion, security, and beauty in life. Understand that. The gifts and artful concepts that transfers into Aries, which is where Saturn's going to support us next, into materializing and giving form to those concepts. And that becoming consistent with the identity in and of itself, the first house. So now you are being that first house. You are being the planetary ruler of that first house. You are being the energy of that first house, embodied in the concept of yourself through that recovery of your imagination, the freedom of your imagination no longer being plagued by sins and iniquities that have been cleared finally. Sins and iniquities, covenants, curses, dark contracts, subjugation to witchcraft and dark magic of this world. Through that freedom, we are the image and likeness of God, creating and co-creating in the earth, bringing in exactly what we need. And that channels and catalyzes Aquarius Pluto evolution of ourselves as those who bring the gourds of water for the community, for the people, that which we need and what we cannot do without, because it came from heaven and it was timely. Understand? So let's get this shit right. You got to stay in sight with who you are. You know what I mean? I'm here. I make myself available for whoever reaches out. It's a lot of activity, you know what I mean, behind the scenes, but I know how to make time. A lot of people that I make contact with, that I work with behind the scenes, but I know how to make time. But that's your role, you know, to initiate that reaching out, to make sure that you stay in a loop, that you stay current in information about yourself that you need to make sense of all of this, to keep yourself empowered and in a place of clarity in what must be done next. Understand? I'm here to keep you uncomfortable with the truth. I'm here to keep you vulnerable, and I'm here to condition you to become a little more resilient. So truth becomes a little more evident and clear, and you feel more emboldened to embrace it instead of run the fuck away. Understand? It's the infamous